Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Billy Bob Thornton in Landman is a reminder of one of the best parts of Kevin Costner's Yellowstone performance. Billy Bob Thornton recaptured one of the best parts of Kevin Costner's Yellowstone performance as John Dutton Iui in the Landman season finale. With Taylor Sheridan having written both series, it's difficult not to compare Landman to Yellowstone. Interestingly, toward the end of Landman Season 1's final episode, Thornton delivers something that makes the continuation of his Tommy Norris character promising. While Season 2 hasn't been confirmed, there are plenty of avenues to explore in a sophomore run for Landman. Thornton's performance as Landman and fixer Tommy Norris in the season finale makes the idea of Landman Season 2 quite exciting. At the end of the freshman run, Tommy is left as the president of the M-Tex Oil Company. Thornton's role will be all the more significant in the series after the death of his boss, Monty Miller, John Hamm, leaving him in a powerful position. However, Thornton's experience of losing his longtime partner is just the beginning of the emotional events he experiences in the finale, making his performance reminiscent of John. One of the paramount aspects of Kevin Costner's Yellowstone performance is his character's depth of emotion. While John Dutton Iui didn't often allow himself to be vulnerable to those around him, it made for some of his best moments when he did open up. The character has powerful emotional beats, like saying goodbye to his father, John Dutton to Dabney Coleman, in Yellowstone Season 2, Episode 10, Sins of the Father. As John Dutton's namesake prepares to die, he and his son ride into one of their favorite parts of the ranch and share a flask of whiskey. After reminiscing about John's brother Peter at the end of his life, John Dutton too dies with his head on his son's shoulder, and Costner sells the scene perfectly. John is faithfully in tune with his emotions, which shows at important moments. For instance, another memorable moment is when John Dutton tells his daughter-in-law, Monica, Kelsey as Bill, that her infant son had a perfect life despite his death in Yellowstone Season 5. John's experiences with grief due to the loss of family members like Peter profoundly inform his perspective, allowing him to connect deeply. Billy Bob Thornton delivered another emotional performance for Sheridan's collection of work in the Landman season finale. In Landman Season 1, Episode 10, Crumbs of Hopes, Tommy's life flashes before his eyes after Jimenez Alex Miraz, a cartel underling, kidnaps and beats him. Jimenez has a beef to settle with Tommy after the fixer refuses to cover the drug smuggler's damages incurred in an accident involving one of M-Tex's planes. When Tommy is home safe on his couch, he tells his wife, Angela Ellie Larder, that she is all he can see when he thinks his life is over. Angie reflects Tommy's serious tone, offering to make him blueberry pancakes rather than creating panic. As Tommy waits for breakfast, he goes out for a cigarette and sees a coyote visiting a fallen pack member who Norris' neighbor shot earlier. Tommy is strikingly grave when he tells the coyote to be careful because people shoot coyotes around Midland. Thornton's demeanor in the final scene and throughout the episode rounded out his character. It sometimes came through earlier, like when greeting Ariana, Paulina Chivs, in the hospital after figuring out she was Cooper's Jacob Laughlin girlfriend. While Tommy Norris may not have been as profoundly affected by grief and emotion as John Dutton, his character begins to experience grave tribulations in the season finale as he loses his long-term business partner and fears for his life. Additionally, Tommy's humor balances his lack of immediate depth in the series. While John Dutton typically has something funny to say, especially when he finds the behavior of those around him ridiculous, it's not as consistent. Tommy is intentionally funny throughout Landman, using it to deal with uncomfortable situations, making for some of Landman's best moments in Season 1. One of Tommy's most memorable ongoing gags in Season 1 is his treatment of Ainsley's, Michelle Randolph, relationship with writer Mitchell Slaggart. The father eventually establishes a don't ask, don't tell policy regarding Ainsley's romance with her new boyfriend for all those involved. Ultimately, the father's treatment of the situation parallels how John handled his daughter, Beth's Kelly-Relly, unfiltered conversations about her romantic endeavors, proving the fathers aren't so different. Watching the Landman season finale makes it clear that Thornton brings the same gritty and raw je ne sais quoi to the role that Costner brought to John Dutton. Billy Bob Thornton's casting in Landman, the upcoming Taylor Sheridan drama, is a stark reminder of one of the best aspects of Kevin Costner's performance in Yellowstone. While both actors have their own unique styles, they share an undeniable ability to embody rugged, morally complex characters who navigate treacherous landscapes, both literal and figurative. Thornton's role in Landman isn't just another high-profile casting decision. It's a continuation of a storytelling tradition that Yellowstone fans have come to adore. The Sheridan Formula, a tale of grit and power. Taylor Sheridan has carved out a niche in modern television and cinema with his gritty neo-westerns. From Sicario to Hell or High Water to Yellowstone, his work is filled with themes of power, legacy, and the unrelenting force of nature, both in the world and in human nature. Landman promises to follow a similar path, diving into the cutthroat world of oil drilling in West Texas. Thornton's character in Landman is expected to be as compelling as Kevin Costner's John Dutton in Yellowstone. While Dutton was a ranching mogul battling corporate interests, political forces, and family drama, Thornton's role will place him at the center of the high-stakes oil industry. These are two sides of the same coin: the land and the resources it provides, and the men who stake their claim on it. Thornton and Costner, masters of gravitas. Both Thornton and Costner are actors who bring a natural gravitas to their roles. Costner's portrayal of John Dutton was steeped in quiet authority. His every glare, sigh, or measured word carried weight. He didn't need long monologues to convey power. His presence alone made him a force to be reckoned with. Likewise, Thornton has a history of playing men whose words are few but whose impact is immense. In films like Sling Blade, Friday Night Lights, and Goliath, Thornton has mastered the art of portraying characters with an unshakable presence. His talent lies in the ability to make silence feel thunderous. This is precisely what made Costner's John Dutton so compelling. He didn't have to shout to command a room. If Landman leans into this strength of Thornton's, it will undoubtedly evoke comparisons to Costner's performance in Yellowstone. The anti-hero archetype. One of the reasons Yellowstone resonated so deeply with audiences was John Dutton's status as a modern anti-hero. He wasn't a clear-cut villain, nor was he a traditional hero. He operated in shades of gray, doing whatever was necessary to protect his land and his family. His methods were often ruthless, but his motives were understandable. That moral ambiguity is a hallmark of great television characters, from Tommy Soprano to Walter White. Thornton's casting suggests Landman will continue this trend. His best roles have always been those in which he straddles the line between good and bad, where his character's moral compass is skewed but never broken. If Landman presents him as a man willing to go to extreme lengths to maintain power in the oil industry, we could see a performance reminiscent of Costner's John Dutton, only in a different setting. The power of setting, ranches versus oil fields. Sheridan's storytelling is deeply tied to setting. Yellowstone was as much about the breathtaking landscapes of Montana as it was about the people who lived there. The open plains, towering mountains, and sprawling ranches played a crucial role in establishing the show's tone and themes. The Duttons weren't just fighting for money. They were fighting for a way of life, a connection to the land that ran deeper than any business interest. Landman, on the other hand, is set in the oil-rich fields of West Texas. Here, the battle for land isn't just about tradition. It's about profit, control, and the relentless hunger for power. While the themes of territorial disputes and legacy remain, the stakes shift from preserving nature to extracting from it. This shift in perspective allows Landman to stand apart from Yellowstone, while still echoing its most compelling elements. Thornton's role in this world will likely mirror some of John Dutton's struggles, but with a more corporate, cutthroat edge. If Dutton was a cowboy fighting to keep his heritage alive, Thornton's character may be a tycoon ensuring his empire thrives in a volatile industry. This contrast makes Landman an exciting evolution of Sheridan's storytelling, rather than a mere retread of what worked before. A legacy of strong performances. Sheridan has a knack for bringing out the best in actors. Yellowstone reinvigorated Kevin Costner's career, reminding audiences why he's one of Hollywood's most iconic leading men. Similarly, Thornton has already delivered an unforgettable Sheridan performance in 1883, where he played Marshal Jim Courtwright, a lawman who carried the weight of the West on his shoulders. That small role was enough to showcase how seamlessly he fits into Sheridan's world.